Greetings everyone, this is the Defying Toy Reviewer. This is going to be the very first review, and we're starting it off with a figure that was released about a year ago, maybe two at the most. Figma Robocop. Now this figure is being reviewed as a tie-in for the upcoming movie, the new Robocop series that's supposed to be hitting theaters this week. So let's take a look at the box real quickly before we dive right in with the in-depth review. Further inspection of the package without the figure inside, here you can see what clearly makes for a nice detailed background for this set. Just the Robocop 1987 logo, plus a few specks of computer chips and wiring all across the background. However, unlike some other Figma figures that I used to own, this cardboard backing refuses to be removed from the box without risk of tearing upon such attempt. Upon removal from the box, Robocop comes in two sets of containers. This one, housing the figure himself with a few other included accessories which we will get to in a bit. The other case houses all the needing interchangeable hands that certainly makes this figure a must-have. And since time is a factor with this review, let's go ahead and get in depth with this container first before we proceed to the main attraction himself. This Figma set comes a death load of interchangeable hands, 10 in fact. Set 1 includes 2 hands in which are balled up fists that are already attached to the Robocop figure. Set 2 are 2 hands molded in a nice common pose. Set 3 are 2 hands aiming directly at its target ahead. Set 4 are weapon grappling hands in which house Robocop's signature handheld pistol. And finally, Set 5 are 2 separate hands, one in a near-close position which could possibly house a small weapon. The other, some of you may notice from the 1987 film. It is the data hacking device used in hacking personal Detroit police records on database, but most importantly, it was used to eliminate Clarence once and for all later on in the film. A very nice touch. Now taking a look at Robocop, you may be able to notice something is slide off from a great impression to the actor Peter Weller, aka Alex Murphy from the film. Yes, it's true. In order to save time and trouble, Figma decided that it was best to just pinstripe Robocop's mouth onto the figure rather than going into full scope with his face. And by full sculpt, that's exactly what I mean here. Once the figure's helmet is removed, you'll notice that Figma didn't even bother to sculpt any kind of face, at least some kind of attempt to Alex Murphy. Perhaps a copyright issue? Who knows? Now the only reason that I'm showing this off, this soulless face, is to reveal to you the figure's next feature. It isn't much to look at first glance, but after a first pace you'll notice that the helmet has gone from a nice clean impression straight to a scarred image. Now many consider this extra piece to be a cheap way for Figma to save a few pennies. But rhetorical or not, I find it to be something worth having with the set. Figma Robocop also includes a transparent yellow piece that looks to be a quick muzzle flash that can be applied to the very tip of his pistol to give the impression of a short, rapid-fire attack to his enemies. The Figma stand that this set includes is exactly what you would come to expect. While it's nice to have at least one toy company giving these things out with their action figures to be displayed upon in action poses, the fact that there is no nameplate or anything to resemble Robocop in the fact is just a typical thing to get used to. Still, it's no waste of space by any means, as it does get its point around for being able to hold the figure's weight in place without tipping over. The storage bag on the other hand, yeah, I'm not going to talk about it. The last of Robocop's accessories, and my personal favorite, is his pistol storage light that completes the epic usage of this gimmick from the film. Upon removing a big chunk of his upper right leg, these parts will fill in a huge gap by a simple peg-in connection to both halves. Yes, before you ask away, Robocop's pistol can be stored inside the leg via a leg holster. The only issue that most people have with this gimmick is that unlike NECA's Robocop figure, which is double the size of the Figma one, The two halves cannot close up to form a complete leg over the gun for full storage like in the film. Disappointing, yes, but an easy oversight for all consumers. Since time is still a factor, let's proceed on with the articulation of the Robocop, starting off with a ball-jointed neck, ball-jointed shoulders, ball-jointed elbows, ball-jointed wrists, ball-jointed uppercut, ball-jointed waist cut, ball-jointed legs, ball-jointed knees, and last but not least, ball-jointed ankles. So yes, everything on this figure is ball jointed, which means there should be no poses whatsoever this figure cannot replicate from the actual film. Let's be honest though, when it comes to Figma producing such great quality action figures that not for copyright flaws, they don't skip a beat in the terms of reasonable prices, especially for toys that cannot be found in retailers here in this great country of ours. If there are others watching this video who think that the accessories count is tipping on this figure, let's not forget that this Robocop figure was limited to the count of actual weapons that were used by him in the first film. Plus, all that can be thrown aside once you notice the spectacular paintwork on this action figure, with high-end details all around sparkling in a metallic finish of high silver paint with a light spray of metallic purple. Totally makes this figure pop in the daylight. Too bad it's dark around here. Very dark. Figma Robocop is a must-have for any Robocop collectors near and far who would love to recreate such never-ending poses from the action film. With every shot taken, this action figure shouts to the other toys in the Figma line, "Dead or alive, you're coming with me." This has been Defying Toy Reviews with the first in-depth review on this channel of Max Factory / Figma Robocop. If you would like to see more in-depth reviews of such quality, please subscribe to this channel as many more are to come in time. I'll be seeing you all really soon.